What was life like for you, growing up as a child and, through middle school and through high school?
I came from a very close, tight knit family. My dad retired from Kenworth Truck Company. If anyone knows where Kenworth is in Chillicothe, Ohio, my mom was a bank teller, and I was the second person in my large family to graduate from college.
Wow. Now, during school and stuff, did you have hobbies, activities that you enjoyed?
Yeah, I'm a big team person. I've always been attracted to anything team oriented, basketball, anything that I could do, really just to keep me very busy. And my parents, they were always under the, if you play a sport, you don't have to work. And so I always played a sport, kept myself very busy. And I just always knew that I lived in a really little town, and the town that I grew up in literally has two stoplights. And
That
I just wanted something different.
No, that's awesome. And so through high school, going into college, did you have a specific career path that you were aiming for?
Uh, Funny you say that. I was just laughing the other day with my girls. I've got a daughter that's the Fisher School of Business, and I've got a daughter that's a school teacher now. And when I decided to go to school, I just picked something to major in, and I decided to go into nursing at Capital University. And I got less than a semester in, and I'm like, holy crap, this is not for me. And I will never forget. I'd always gotten good grades before in the past, and I'd really never been out on my own before. And I get put on academic probation my first semester. And my dad is this really nice, sweet, tall man that doesn't say much, but he always scared me. But who scared me the most was my 5 foot Scottish mother, who is from Glasgow, Scotland. And she's like, rip her out. She's done. And I'll never forget, my dad came up to that school and he walked me around campus and he said, listen, kid, I'm going to give you one more shot. What do you want to do? And I'm like, I'm not sure, but I just don't want to do nursing. He's like, well, then pick something that you can universally use the rest of your life. So I did. I
Mm.
switched and entered into political science and an English degree. And then I just never looked back.
So I'm curious. I was one that switched majors when I was in college as well. Mine was I failed calculus and decided that accounting wasn't going to be. I couldn't understand why I needed calculus in college to go for an accounting degree, but that's a whole nother story. I'm curious though, when just picking nursing, was there any inkling around, like, you thought you would like that, or was it just something that, you thought you would enjoy and doing as a career? Because I think the reason why I bring it up is I think there's times where, we're so young at that point of our life to where it's like we don't know, and
Right.
some people have that direction of the like, yep, I'm going to do this. But I'm curious for you, you kind of said you just picked one. Was it something that you enjoyed in high school, or?
Nope. Nope. Didn't enjoy it at all. I did not like chemistry, did not like anything to do with it. I literally picked it because when I was a young child, my mom at age 35 got breast cancer,
Mm,
and they gave her less than a 50% chance to live. And I
mm.
just watched her go through everything with her chemotherapy and everything that she had to endure. And I just had so much respect for that industry. And I still do. I mean, I don't know how they do it. I could not do it. And then in the pandemic, I mean, it's amazing. I just recently, I went through a pretty hard struggle a couple years ago and had to have emergency surgery. And I just don't know. I don't know how caretakers do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a special human, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
I know us real estate agents complain sometimes about, about clients, but that
We
is that.
literally have the best job in the world. If we
Yeah,
just, I mean, who else can work as little hours as what we're working and get paid what we get paid? Nobody.
100%. I'm right there with you, 100%. So you get this second chance, right? And you have this conversation, with your dad, and you went the political science and English route. What
Mhm.
what made you go that direction? I know you mentioned, universal, right, that you could use down the line. Was there a certain career that interested you at that point that allowed you to kind of go that direction?
Yes, very interested in law. I was thinking at that point probably go to law school, and I just always loved English. I loved writing. I loved journaling, anything about that. And I still, if I look back at my playbook of graduating high school, if I look at of one of the things I thought I was going to do and I still want to do would be to write a book.
Let's do it. We need
Yeah.
to do it. I just spoke to, I just had Glenn Witten on. Do you know Glenn Witten?
Mm-mm, no.
He just published a book. I want to say in the last year, he just published a book, and I talked to him about that's one of my goals. I've been talking about for I don't know 3 years now. As far as just getting I think for me, and I don't know about for you, like I feel like it has to be like this 150, 200 page thing, but it really doesn't have to be that. I think that's
No.
my block. And I'm not good with English, so you might be able to help me out with that. But
You can hire that out, right? Just
yeah,
put down your thoughts and your feelings and let someone else take care of all the
yeah,
grammatical
yeah,
errors.
for sure. So Kelly, you go through college, you end up graduating. What did you end up doing for your first career right out of school?
I got a job at a newspaper. And at that point in time, everybody tells you get a job at a newspaper, get seasoned, and then decide if you want to go to law school. So I literally went in, interviewed, and the day after I graduated from Capital, I started at the newspaper. And they just recently had banned smoking in the newsroom. So I walked into some pretty grumpy people, and I was young. I didn't know what I was doing. And interestingly enough, I'd always been pretty social and popular. So everywhere I went, I found something in common and I got in and things were great. And I just didn't fit in, did not fit in with this group. And I tried, and I ended up befriending a couple older people that were very, very sweet to me and taught me the ropes.
And was that here locally in Columbus or
It was in Chillicothe, Ohio. It's called the Chillicothe Gazette at the time.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
And did you focus on any specific subject within the newspaper, or did you kind of hit all topics?
They ended up putting me on the lifestyle page, and I got to do the little, I was in the newbie. So, you're doing the Dear Abby, all of the other ones. And then they started sending me out on assignments. And then I wrote a little bit, and then they quickly realized, okay, this kid can be an editor. So I ended up being the lifestyles editor. And we would work the really weird shifts. You get up super, super early, sometimes 4 o'clock, be in work. Weekends, you turn a double. So you would get everything to press. And at that time, they let you go out and get like a cheeseburger and a burger or and a beer. And then you go back to work and you'd work until a certain time at night. And then you would get up and do it all over again.
And how long were you at that career?
I was there a couple of years. I didn't at that point in time, about a year in, I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna go to law school at this point. It was, very expensive. I was doing everything on my own at that point. And then I saw, at this point, you're reading want ads and looking at different opportunities, and a position came up at a hospital, ironically, not nursing, but a marketing position came up. And the Kelly today looks back and thinks, how did this young 20-something-year-old even think she had enough credit to even apply? And not only did I apply, they interviewed me and they hired me. And I had no idea what I was doing.
And it was for marketing?
Yeah, marketing and physician recruitment. And I learned so much in those 5 years at that hospital. It was an amazing career.
What was your mindset at that time around applying or not? I mean, was there any second guessing?
Applying for law school?
No, applying for that job.
Oh, no. I mean, I think I just at that point, they call it now unconscious incompetence. I didn't know enough to know any better, that I probably wasn't qualified, and I was probably gonna have to go up against a lot of people to get this position, and I just got lucky.
No, that's awesome. I think sometimes, when we come to those types of decisions, we just paralyze ourselves, right? We just overthink it, and we don't even put our hat in the ring to even give us an opportunity or a shot. And you're in coaching, and I'm in coaching, and sometimes it's just showing up for that appointment, you know, and putting your best foot forward, because you never know, you can't control the end results all the time, but you
You
can
can't, but
control if you
yeah,
show up.
you can't, but what you focus on expands. And I think that's the biggest heartbreak that we get as we get older, is that we start to doubt ourselves more and more on a daily. And if we could just go back to that younger version and just do it and not be so scared, we're harder on ourselves than anybody else would ever be.
And why do you think that? I'm curious. Why do you think that we just continuously, as we get older, just continuously to doubt ourselves?
I think that, you fail your way forward so many times. But then in real estate and other industries, you get a little bit of success, and then you start doubting yourself with everything that comes your way. Like, can I do that again, or can I keep going? And then, you get, if you're dealing in the trenches with the agents or the clients, you get a bad deal, and it humbles you a little bit and it kicks you down. And it's a gritty job. Whoever gets back up and keeps doing it every day. And then we just need to constantly remind ourselves, when I was a kid, I used to watch Saturday Night Live, and I loved the Stuart Smalley, the "You're good enough, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you." And if we just kept saying that over and over to ourselves with affirmation, but instead we are the ones that are putting the self-doubt in our mind, and we're the ones choosing not to move forward. And that's how you get paralyzed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about it quite a bit, as I coach more and more agents and getting them into this business. Growing up as kids, we were always told to dream big, right? You can be anything that you want to be. And then, as we get older, it's the pressures of society. It's the pressures of, really caring about other people's opinions. One of the things that I've been working on myself, over the past year and a half, 2 years, has been more video, and just putting out video content. I remember and obviously it gets easier with time and repetition and all of those things. But I remember when I first got started, it was like, man, people are going to laugh at me. People are going to, make comments about me. People are going to talk behind my back, and all those things. And finally I just got to the point where it's like, I don't care, I don't really care anymore. And I think that's so hard to get to that point of just not caring about other people's judgment.
That people worry about what you look like, or what you're going to say, or how many times you're going to mess it up. Same for me. Video is really hard. I'm always pushing myself out in video, and let's face it, people in social media world behind the scenes, and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, they can be really, really mean.
Yeah. And one of the things that I took away, I'm a big Gary Vee fan. And
Yeah.
he said this one time on a podcast or TikTok or one of the videos I was listening to, and he's like, just imagine how bad that person's world is, or that person's life is, for them to leave that type of comment. And I just think about that, like if someone's going to sit there and talk negative, and I'm not saying I get that, but that's the mindset, right? Of, like if someone's going to, like, how bad is their life, right? I'm doing okay, and
Right.
for them to sit there and, so that was kind of like the mindset shift for me of like, man, like for them to do that, to be that way, something's got to be going on worse for them than anything that I got going